Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. YCS Rio de Janeiro took place last weekend, bringing us the first look at the format in a premier event post-Legacy of Destruction. And in true Konami fashion, we didn't get shit for it to watch at home. No stream, no write-up, and of course, no indication that anyone truly cares at all. As always, that fucking sucks. But it isn't new, so that's cool, I guess. Hey guys, we can get Stockholmed into it. It's fine. There was plenty that people would have liked to have seen for this event, from the people playing it to the decks that were being teched in and are using the new Legacy of Destruction cards, and just the fact that people want to see premier events for this game. But as it turns out, Konami is a corporation. And if you suggest a good idea to a corporation, like streaming your premier events, you will immediately be fired. Don't believe me? Go into your workplace on Monday and suggest an idea to your manager to improve the quality or even the performance of the work that's being done and see what happens. Best case, ignored and told to shut up. Worst case, written up, because how dare you suggest that you might know better than the middle manager whose primary function is to be paid to ruin morale. Learn your place. And that's what we get to do with Konami. We get to learn our place as irrelevant because we already bought the card, so who gives a fuck? This was a 378 player event in the best place to lose a YCS because, oh darn, I lost? Damn, guess I'll go hang out around all of this or give a in-person shoutouts to J-Man, so that's, as stated, there's fuck all to look at beyond exactly this picture, but at least if you aren't looking at this picture, the alternatives weren't too bad. So, shoutouts to K-Man. Get it? That's Konami. We got to jump right into top 32 because there's nothing else to go over. Fiend Link and Tenpai are the two most likely new decks to have shown up from Legacy of Destruction, and of course Voiceless did get their new continuous spell as well, so that would be the biggest shakeup, so to say. And would you look at that? Snake Eye only got 14 out of top 32 spots. And if you count the fact that the two Fire King variants are also Snake Eye decks, it's only 50% of all top decks. That's an improvement, baby. Down like 20-ish%, and still clearly the best deck of the format. Voiceless got a grand total of 5 tops, and new meta threat Tenpai got a whopping 4. And then there's the one-ofs brigade, because it's just a smattering of, good God, that is a deck, isn't it? Dark Worlds just shows up playing colorless, chlorless, however I'm meant to say it, which is neat. Only 2 copies of Desires in that deck list though, so that's fascinating. One dude just bringing his cats to top with Pearly as is kinda tradition as of now, and the apparent obligatory topping of birds, which does at least allow me to once again bring this bad boy out, grab this lovely endearing thing that advertisers just love to see, and then you just before anyone complains about what it is that just happened right there. It is not at all a bad thing because, for one, birds are evil and they deserve it, and 2, he's a sadist. Don't fucking kink shame him. I do also want to take a quick moment to highlight this Horus Stun list that also got top 32, because what the fuck is this? Fenrir with 1 Rysoth to search it and 3 apiece of Majesties and Majesty's Fiend, plus skill drain? Who hurt you? What is going on? That's just not right. This is a cry for help. Seek therapy. And with that out of the way, Tenpai, these guys, how far can the $20 supers and just that nice little borrowed card from your friend take you? Well, in terms of Rio de Janeiro, as far as top 8, I suppose there's credit to be said for the deck, as all 4 players who made it to top 32 did move on to top 16, compared to, say, Voiceless, which only had 1 player make it out of 5 to top 16. But only 1 of each moved to top 8, and by top 4, it's exclusively Snake Eyes once again. Not even any Fire King variants either, just Snake Eyes. So Tenpai's first showing is, let's say, whelming. Not underwhelming, not overwhelming, just whelming. Looking at this deck's history in terms of the community consensus on it, it's kind of funny. Like, it got revealed and everyone just kind of went, meh, battle decks suck. And then it did really solid in the OCG, and 1,000 Redditors came climbing out of the woodwork to call everyone an idiot except for them for not realizing the sheer genius and potential that Tenpai had, so it's clearly insanely good, and then people see the results here and go, wow, it's got some teeth, and then it gets here and it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's not a bad deck, but some people were expecting a lot more than this, and here it is with 4 out of the top 32. Will that change at the first larger YCS with a, larger number of players? Possibly, who knows? I'm just here to enjoy the roller coaster that this entire deck's discourse has been putting me on. But back to the YCS. It's Snake Eye, dude. And a huge congrats to Raphael Reich for winning with this list. Snake Eye list with a Kashtira twist. So that is still popular and very much viable, and running the new Snake Eye Diabellstar, no less. Initially, I didn't think that card was anything special, but it's been showing up a decent amount, which I'm tremendously fond of, because it allows me to say Big Poplar more and more often, and swole-ass beefcake Poplar is the pinnacle of card design as far as I'm concerned, and I can't wait to see more of it in the future. Still, as always, it's a huge congrats to Raphael, your winner of YCS Rio de Janeiro 2024. But there is one last thing to talk about, because something else came from Legacy of Destruction that I personally did not see coming, and it's the theme of this week's Spice Watch. That's right, there's a Spice Watch this week, a little series I do sometimes when there's a new thing that's popped up in engines or decks that's a real spicy tech, because if there's one man on Earth who knows spice, it's the guy whose white-ass shirt is not that visibly distinct from his white-ass skin. Melodious Snake Eye is the new spice to come from Legacy of Destruction, and it did show up at YCS Rio de Janeiro in 2 prominently placing lists, including this list that made it to top 8, and even the runner-up second place list from the event as well. Sadly, I've been unable to find a copy of the second place list, but the core idea remains the same. That being that you can throw in a Melodious engine to buff your Snake Eye board? Crazier things have happened, maybe, allegedly, who knows? When you play the deck, you're going to be looking at something similar to this. You're throwing in 3 copies of Ostinato, 3 copies of the Melodious Refrain, 1 Melodious Couplet, 1 Concerto, and 1 each in your extra deck of Bacca, the Melodious Maestra, and a second Melodious Fusion of your choice that will need only any 2 Melodious monsters as material. As to why you include all this? Well, if you open Ostinato, you've got what the kids say, full combo. This is branded fusion for the Melodious deck for the Zoomers, or branded Shaddoll fusion but without a requirement for the Boomers. Either way, Ostinato will let you send 2 copies of Refrain to summon out a copy of Bacca. Assuming that's how I meant to say that name, I don't care. That's how you're going to hear it for the rest of this segment. Bacca will then summon out your 3rd Refrain from the deck, which will activate and search out your copy of Couplet. Couplet will reveal itself to revive one of your Refrains in the graveyard, and then can be scaled to search out Concerto. Concerto will let you fuse one of your Refrains and your Couplet in scale to summon out another fusion monster, and will then place both Refrain and Couplet back into your scales through their respective effects. You can then link your 2 fusion monsters off and your spare Refrain to summon Exceed the Pendulum. Doing this will trigger Bacca's effect to revive the Refrain in your graveyard, and actually activate Concerto's effect in the graveyard to put itself on the bottom of your deck and draw you an extra card. Exceed's effect will then let you grab a Refrain to your hand from your extra deck and summon it, and then you can make Appaloosa with Exceed and a Refrain. And by Pendulum summoning all your extra Refrains out, you can get 2 copies of Refrain to overlay into Infernal Flame Banshee, which can add any Snake Eye monster you choose, and all with an Appaloosa on your board to protect you from hand traps. And that's without even using the normal summon. And yeah, there's plenty of time in there to activate things like Imperms and Nibirus through all of this, but if you do get nibbed or disrupted throughout all of this, you haven't used your normal summon and can then save them for your Snake Eye cards to make your actual more meaningful and impactful plays. Same goes for Ostinato. Might just be Ash bait, but at least you won't get ashed on your bonfire or something similar. It's neat to see more engines added to insulate your core deck plays, and more than that, it's even more credit to the theory that Appaloosa is about to fucking die, especially on the next ban list, because it's in the upcoming Rarity Collection 2, which was the same fate that Barone and Savage had, because they got the reprints and then they fucking got slaughtered. So maybe that's still, it's neat to see an alternative to the Kashtira engine that people have been playing. It did get second place again at this YCS, so I imagine we'll be seeing more of it in upcoming YCSs, of which there's more news for. It's almost like this is a news channel. I know, it's fucking crazy, dude. Because while the next YCS won't be until YCS Indianapolis on the weekend of June 2nd and 1st, Konami did announce a handful of upcoming events to look forward to after the WCQs kick off in late June this year. YCS Niagara Falls 2024 will take place on the weekend of the 12th and 13th, this year again on the Canadian side of the border, because they can't afford housing or rent at all. So I suppose the least we can do is give them a YCS. There's also YCS Anaheim to take place on the weekend of December 7th and 8th because they also can't afford houses or rent, and so they get to have a YCS as well. I don't actually know if that's entirely true. I just know it's taking place in California, and that entire fucking state is grossly overpriced. And of course, most exciting of all is YCS to be announced, to take place on a weekend in August. Europeans can huff copium like their lives depend on it for maybe just a chance that you'll get a YCS in this current year. And of course, we all know that won't happen because it's almost certainly going to be within the continental United States once again. If we follow the pattern, it needs to be somewhere where living is unaffordable. So maybe it won't be in the United States exactly. Maybe it's the return of YCS Toronto. Nah, I have no clue, but YCS TBA is one of my favorite things, and I'm more than happy to talk about it because it sounds so fucking stupid. There's also the next round of Lost Art promos that have been revealed. The newest wave, including the likes of Treeborn Frog, but with the halo, Watt Cancel with the totally not dying Ojama Yellow, Effeminate Eldritch, and both the new and retrained version of Ultimate Offerings. Which, fun fact, today was the day I learned that the TCG name for the new version of it is Ultimate Offering. What a goofy name. That's funny. I like it. Also hilarious to see Lost Art promo for a card that we've only had for 3 months in the game. Is that probably something of a cash grab? Yeah, I guess, again, the word probably. But it's really no worse than Pokemon still doing the 2 versions thing that they've had going on for 20 years. As always, these will be released over the period of the next few months and will be gotten by spending $30 or more at your OTS store, or $40 if you're Canadian and use their crazy-ass Monopoly money. And as is standard for the update, some stories that aren't worth their own whole-ass individual segment, but I want to talk about them, so we'll group them all into one. Like this new dope-ass Winged Dragon of Ra figure, which is certifiably cool as hell. And that's the official government description of it. Don't fact check that. Do not look that up online. This is the next in Bandai's Figure Rise Standard Amplified. The Figure Rise Standard Amplified line, a name that just rolls off the tongue, and will be on display at the Shizuoka Hobby Show this weekend. Probably said that wrong. But either way, it's going on this weekend, so if you want more pictures of it, maybe in color, you can look forward to that online. If only the cost of everything ever hadn't dramatically spiked up, I'd maybe look forward to purchasing this for myself. And then there's of course the reveal for the new Evil Twin Tactical Tri deck. This alongside the previously shown Cyber Dragon deck and the yet to be revealed Eldritch deck are the new gold standard for products in both the OCG and the TCG. Although, as was the case before, we still have no indication as to if or when we'll be getting these in the TCG. But god damn, a whole Sprite Core, Imperms, Droplet, called by the Evil Twin deck in full, and like IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, and Access Code all in one deck for like 1,100 yen. Insanely good product. But hey, we're getting a reprint of Light of Destruction again in August, so who's the real winner, huh? It's us. And so that's it. Shoutouts this week, as always, go to the LIFD Magnetic Display, the best way to support my channel currently, and the true Duelist approved way to show off your favorite cards. If you want to get your hands on one of these bad boys, be it the tri-set or the one guy, you can get 15% off by using my promo code YGOSTRATS15 for 15% off, and you can have it apply automatically by clicking the link in the description of this video or type it in a checkout, whatever you feel. Thanks to LIFD for the support as always, and of course thank you for watching. As always, my name's Gregory Fee. Probably what you hear half the time when I say, apparently I do not emphasize Craig often enough, so whatever the hell you call me, I don't give a shit, whatever. Hit subscribe. Not only will you impressing that smoking Italian wife, you'll become an immediate and certifiable true duelist. So make sure you do that, because if you don't, I genuinely don't even know where Rabina went. I can't even threaten you with what happens. You just disappear, apparently. That's where the fuck did it go? Okay, I'm gonna go find a bird. See you next week, folks.